that keeps repeating that you cannot break free out of it. We're looking at it today. We're looking at that, and how do you break out of that? As kawaida, we have Gabriel. Karibu very much, Gabriel.
Asante sana.
You know, it depends on which school you went to. If you went to a Moshosho ama primary school, you say Gabriel. If you went to the academy, you say Gabriel. So, your choice.
A group of schools.
If you went to the group of schools, it's Gabriel. But if you went to a school like our director Alice, which at every election, there's a polling station in the class. They say Gabriel. So that's how you tell the two apart. So welcome, Gabriel. So
Thank
now you know
so
where
much.
I came from.
Yes. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
This is a very interesting situation where, let me give you an example. I used to hate mathematics, and I used to get into a class, and even experientially, and I start doing things that I know how to do, but I would always get them wrong.
Yes.
As in, I know this thing, and there's no challenge at all.
Yes.
But I somehow just ended up messing it one way or the other. Later on, I discovered it was a mindset that I had.
Against maths.
Yes, and it was short-circuiting everything that I was doing within maths.
Yes.
Until I changed that, that's the time I realized, oh yeah, I got stuck here because of a mindset that I had. So how true are those experiences?
They are very true. And let me give us one of our viewers, by the way, from last week.
Yes.
And our last week had an issue.
Yes.
But he picked something, and he texted me and said, "These things you talk with Fred, they are very good.
Yes.
But do you know I have not been able to do them?" So I asked him why.
Yes.
They seem to be quite well explained. He told me yes, but for me, actually, I'm stuck somewhere. And every time I try to implement, it seems I keep going back to the same place. And this is the funny part. He's stuck on the previous success. He's actually not stuck on a failure.
He's not stuck on a failure.
No.
What?
He has a car, a Mark X, that he worked so hard to get.
Yes.
But that was not the destination he was looking to. In his dream, he wanted a Porsche Cayenne.
Yes.
Now he got to a Mark X,
yes,
where he started his journey, but he has never exited the Mark X. And he's just been stuck there.
Yes.
He sold his previous Mark X and bought another Mark X.
Oh my goodness.
So he was telling me, you guys are saying something, but this something doesn't seem to stick for me. And I can't tell why. So I told him we're going to have a conversation on this one. So getting stuck is common. And a lady by the name Maya Angelou said, I am human, and no human experience is alien to me. So getting stuck is common to all of us.
True.
It's not special gift for some people. You can get stuck in failure. You can get stuck in success as well.
Yes.
You just get to a point in life and you don't seem to be making any progress.
You're not moving.
You are not moving.
You're in a good place, but you're not moving to a better place.
To a better place.
You're just stuck there.
Stuck there. Or you are in a bad place.
And you
don't seem to be making any headways out of where you are. Steve Harvey says that if you find yourself in hell, keep moving. You don't want to stay there. Don't stop moving, you know. So if you could be in hell and you feel stuck, and you could be in the how many heavens? The first heaven. You could have just
the second heaven.
Or the second heaven. But your destination was on the third heavens. But you got there and
you got stuck.
Too. Yeah. So this is a possibility. And sometimes when we are having these conversations of moving on, people tend to relate it with romantic relationships first.
Yes.
When you tell people, hey, Fred, move on.
It went wrong, so they tell you, move on.
Move on, you know, your betrayal. But today we are looking at it from a global perspective. Yeah, you can be stuck with your degree. You know, you went to school, and after school you've been tamaking 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, not getting a job. Man, you need to move on. You got to move on. It doesn't seem to work for you. You understand?
Yes.
So someone is stuck there. They're still believing and believing and hoping, and the thing is not working. You got to reach a point and say, man, I did this thing, nilifanya soil anthropology.
Yes.
There seems to be no soils to analyze.
No soil to analyze.
Man, let me move on to something else, you know. You could be also in a relationship. You've been betrayed. Someone left you in a winter, you know, left you with a child, left you broke, you know, and just things happened. And you keep on regretting and blaming them. It's been a year, you know, you are not making any difference. You are divorced, you're just staying there, you are stuck somewhere, you know. You got to, at one point, say, man,
I gotta break off from this.
I gotta break off from this camp, you know. There are many things. You lost a business, you got into debt, and you've been there for a while now, you know, and you don't seem to be making any headways. I say there comes a time when you have to count the losses. Just kaa chini useme hii na hii na hii na hii, potelea mbali. Let's keep on moving. I lost this business. Let me go back to employment, find a way to start, or let me close the doors and start hapo nje, you know. You can close a big supermarket and start immediately outside where you are working because the situations have gotten you there, you understand? Yeah, you can be from a big house and you lose it. You can rent next door or somewhere you can survive and get yourself started. So these are not things that are very alien to us. I think most of us, if not all of us, have been stuck at one place at one time. Be it in a relationship, even spiritually, my brother Fred.
True.
You can get somewhere, you got what you are praying for, you know?
And you thought, I've gotten, I'm
it's here now.
Yeah.
This is what I've been praying for all along.
Yes,
and,
true.
And you realize 5 years down the line, you haven't made any progress. But you moved so fast when you're looking to get to where you are. Let's say it took you 2 years. You are pushing, you are fasting, you are reading the word, you are believing God for something, and boom, God brought it to you. And since then, you stopped every spiritual activity, and you're just there. You've been just plateauing in a certain area for quite a while. So this is what we wanna talk about. And I want
what causes people to get into that?
Okay, we've actually, the whole of this series, we've been talking about what gets people stuck. And I think one of the key things we talked about was failure. That you can hit the rock bottom and feel like, this is
done.
This is it, man. This is it for me. So sometimes failure can knock you down and you lack the energy to rise up. So failure is one of them. Number two is how you see yourself. We talked about
failure. I remember when you were saying failure is an incident.
Yes.
And what matters most is how you
respond.
Yes, how you respond to failure.
To failure, yes.
Failure is the other side of success. It's a B part of the coin called success.
It's an ingredient, actually.
Yes.
Yes. And most people now, because you see, we normally, when we were talking in January, I remember, we said that we must be very keen to accommodate obstacles in our lives.
Yes.
We shouldn't think that life is going to be ideal, because it's never ideal.
Even Christ didn't have an ideal. The Son of God didn't have an ideal life.
Yes. The only man who had an ideal life was Adam.
Yes.
Before the fall.
And he messed us up. He messed the entire creation up.
After that, nobody has had an ideal life. And that's what we were talking about January. That if you are setting up, looking forward to purchase a piece of land, your goal this year is to grow spiritually, you should expect that demons are going to fight you. You should have that in mind, because it's going to come. It's going to be part of the road. So failure is always part of where we are going. It's part of where we are going. It's part of the journey. But it happens in instances. Now, these instances, if you identify with them, then your journey comes to a halt.
You're saying if you identify, meaning you take them and own them.
Yeah, you
become the incident.
Yes, you own up to the incident. For example, you hear people talking about, hey, my asthma, my asthma attacked me. Oh, my ulcers. Who said they belong to you? You know, it's something that found you. They are visitors. You are not born with them.
They are attacking you.
They are attacking you.
Yes.
When did you come to a point of owning them?
And adopting them.
And adopting them as your sons and daughters. You know?
Yes.
So when you start owning failure, not in a sense of accepting, you know, there's a difference between owning or taking accountability.
Yes.
And there's a difference between identifying with it. So you start saying, I am the failure.
Yes.
Instead of saying, I have failed. You see, those two words are very different. If you failed in mathematics, you just failed in mathematics. You are not a mathematical failure. Get the difference? Yes. You are not the failure. You just failed. It's an instance. So if by mistake you identify with the failure, then you are in for the rat.
And that rat is crazy because it defines your entire being.
Because you start seeing yourself from that point of view. And remember we said, as a man thinketh,
so is he.
In his heart,
Yes.
so is he. So if Fred thinks he's a mathematical failure, 1 + 1 might appear to be 11 to him.
Yes. And at the back of your mind, you know it's 1.
It's 1, yes.
But when you act it out, it's 11.
It comes out as 11, you know.
Yes.
So those things do happen once you identify with that. The second thing we talked about that can bring you this far is your self-image.
True.
If you look down on yourself, you will be stuck to the level you see yourself. Okay? If you don't see yourself deserving of wearing a suit, my friend, even if you go to buy a suit, they'll tell you the one you want is not available. Because in your mind, you have not seen yourself do that. So you have a mental barrier, a mental cage that you've locked yourself in. And unless you unlock yourself, your circumstances, your estate will be as far as the cage goes.
True.
So those are the key reasons why people get stuck.
The second one about image, I remember, I don't know whether I told you this story. There's a friend of mine called Ngoge. Ngoge is now in India. A guy who looks at life from, this glass is full, half full. And he's a very jolly person.
Yes.
So there was a time he was living with his sister, and I think out of depression or something, he lost it. So he was walking the streets, I think it was either Nakuru or something.
Yes.
Just walking like a madman. Completely lost his mind.
Wow.
Then one time, because he was born again, God spoke to him.
Yes.
And told him, Gogi, you are your worst enemy. He told him, it's not even the devil. You are your worst enemy. And then Ngoge started, thinking, why?
How is that
How
possible?
am I my worst enemy? Then God told him how he treats himself. How he hates himself.
Yes.
He does not practice love on himself.
Yes.
And then God told him, when was the last time you bought something for you, for yourself? And he told him, what do you have in your pocket? And Gogi had, that time I think it was a shilling. So he said a shilling. Told him, go and buy something for you. So he took that shilling, went to a shop there, and bought core. You remember those pyramids network core? Bought core. He told me, this he was telling me himself. He told me when he put that core into his mouth,
Yes.
it was the sweetest core he has ever eaten in his life. And tears just started rolling. Because God was telling him, you don't love yourself. You are the one who's fighting yourself. In fact, the devil, I think the devil
Had left him the program. You ran the program.
Yeah,
you're even better than me.
Yeah, you're doing it better. So run. Wacha tukapigane na wale cool. So he was fighting himself. And most of the time, we actually find ourselves in that tribe, pride.
Yes, you know, if you look at the Bible, Paul was telling us that our battles are not flesh. They are rather spiritual. And I'd like us to look at some of these levels. I don't know why this thought has come.
Yes.
That we are fighting against strongholds and arguments. These are things that only happen
in our minds.
They are not in reality. And one of the strongholds is how you see you. How you see you. It's a very huge stronghold. Because once Satan has convinced you to see yourself as a useless person, not a person to be prioritized, not as important, to be you are the last, you deserve to be the last. Then once he loads that program in your subconscious, the guy can leave.
Yes.
The guy can leave.
So he goes and lets that program run in you automatically.
Yes, he knows you will self-destruct. You have a time bomb. You've set it and is already ticking. So he will just go ahead and deal with Fred. He has left you to deal with yourself and destroy yourself. He'll just come for the burial. You know? And these are things that you really have to deal with. Because unless you break the strongholds, you see, a stronghold is more of a prison.
True.
It's a prison. If you look at the definition of the word stronghold, is a prison, and it's that place we call in a prison the solitary rooms. It is a place
where you're set apart.
You are in
and
prison, and yet in another prison within the prison. Whereby you are locked in and it's dark. Usually the solitary rooms are very dark, and you have no access to anyone, and you are left in there to suffer with your own mind. So those are the strongholds. And we are first of all caught in the arguments, generally. Arguing, oh, this doesn't happen to me, this doesn't, this can't. And then we believe it. Now that is the second cell within the cell. And once you are locked in there, Fred, it will take magic to bring you
to get
to
you
pull
out.
you out.
Yes, because you have the thinking has to be completely changed for you to start seeing things differently.
Yes, and that's why the word of God says, "Be ye transformed
by the renewing
of your mind." Because God knows it doesn't matter how much of this gospel you get. If it doesn't go to change your mind, it will never go to change your reality. Your reality is defined by where your mind is. It's not where your spirit is. Because your spirit can be properly aligned. But unless the spirit colonizes the mind is the one that controls your outcome. So the change happens from the spirit to the mind, then to the reality.
So the spirit has to be convinced of the reality you're talking about, change the way you see. Because thoughts are pictures.
It's not the spirit. It's
the soul.
It's the soul. You receive an inspiration from God through the spirit. So the landing port for God is the spirit. Your human spirit.
Yeah, because God is also
the one that derives from God. Now, once you receive from the spirit informs the soul.
We got this.
We got this. Now, the soul either takes it up or refuses it.
It says, no, and I feel like this.
Yes. So if the feeling is a body out, it is an input from the body. So if the soul respects the body more, then the spirit is suppressed. if the soul respects the spirit more, then the body is suppressed. So you have two fighting forces within you. That,
and actually the scripture says that in, I think it's in Galatians.
Yes.
It says the flesh fights against the spirit,
yes.
and the spirit fights against the flesh.
The flesh, yes.
Yeah.
So, but remember, the body communicates with feelings. So it is how you feel that is sending signals to your soul. And your soul will now give you the decisions on how to go forward.
Yes.
But also the spirit receives from God. And it is what we call intuition.
Yes.
It is what we call something said to me.
Yes.
Something said. I had, you know, this inspiration.
Yes.
A thought came. Those are coming from the spirit. Now the soul has to process that and now give you a direction. So we need to balance that the spirit is the bigger man.
Yes.
Constantly in our life. And the body is a smaller man. Otherwise, if the body takes preeminence, then he's leading us away. Because our feelings, you know, our feelings are not dependable. They keep on switching and betraying us.
Today you love hot water, tomorrow you don't.
Yes. There's someone you declared to love yesterday, now today you have a new crush.
Like I saw a video, it's weird. I saw a guy, the wife cheated on him and had a boyfriend. And I think they were walking in the streets. This is United States.
Yes.
The guy came with a vehicle and literally ran over the guy. Akamgonga, akamtupa huko mbele, then he went over him, then reversed, then came. All that is here.
It is in the mind.
It is a movie that he had played
so many times.
So many times in his mind.
He had to practicalize it without errors.
Yes.
You see? He had what we were talking about, simulated.
Yes.
Everything in his mind. It was only left to actualize.
Yes.
To pilot the plane the way he pilots it in the simulator.
So we can clearly say our mind is our simulator.
Yes.
We simulate how
we
things
first
will
of
work.
all simulate.
Yes.
Once we have successfully simulated, the next thing it hits the ground. And it's going to be done the way
it was simulated
in the mind, automatically. So let's go back to moving on.
Yes.
And I wanted us to have a navigation from the scriptures.
Yes.
Philippians 3:13 to 14. Philippians 3:13 to 14. And it says, brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it. But this one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead. I press on towards the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward. This is a statement by Apostle Paul. And he was trying to tell people that this is a gentleman who was very successful, especially in ministry. This is a man who walked in miracles. He had a miraculous life of his own, you know. He had, literally, this is the guy who made sense of the gospel.
Yes.
We are fair.
True.
He's the one who gave us the understanding of really what this gospel was all about. Because he would draw from the Old Testament and give us revelation of what was the foreshadows and their meaning and how we should now practicalize the gospel itself. So this is a guy who, by all means, we could say he had a high level of success, quote unquote. But look at him here. He's telling us, this one thing I do. I try to forget every day that which is of yesterday. So that I keep on charging forward to that which is a promise, which is a goal of tomorrow.
Yes.
And what is he trying to tell us? That yesterday is gone.
Gone, done, and dusted.
Yesterday is data.
Yes.
It's no longer a reality. The best you can get from yesterday
It's just data.
is either a memory or a lesson. Nothing more. It's gone and gone for good. So don't allow yourself
to dwell in yesterday.
To dwell in yesterday. Today today or a new day is not a progression of yesterday. Rather, it's a new opportunity to make a difference. Problem is that we live our today like it is an extension of yesterday.
And an extension of tomorrow, so that we are depressed by what happened yesterday.
Yes.
And we are fearful of what will come tomorrow
because of what happened yesterday.
Mm.
So we deny ourselves the opportunity to live because of how we lived.
Mm.
And this is the rat race. That's the beginning of it all.
Yes.
Because remember yesterday, Fred, you were hungry.
Yeah.
That is not a justification that today is a hunger day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
But if you keep your mind dwelling on the hunger of yesterday, you will miss
what is
to see
today.
the abundance of now.
Very true.
You see? So the first thing for us to break from being stuck is to separate the past from the present and from the future.
You have them segmented.
Segment them so that you are able to isolate which is not real. Remember, yesterday is not real. It's real, but it's gone. So it is not real now.
Yes.
Tomorrow is a possibility.
Yes.
But is neither real now. So if you cannot disconnect from yesterday, your today and tomorrow is
will
affected.
be messed up too.
Yeah, is affected.
Because you will be living yesterday today.
Today, yes. So first
Makes
of all
sense.
is separate your past from your present and your present from your future. That
And
is
when you separate, what do you look at? I remember you said, you got to look at things that you can change.
yes,
Things that you cannot change.
that you cannot change. You must see that which is within your reach, within your capability. And you must identify it clearly.
Yes.
There are factors that you are in charge of, and there are more
Yes.
than the ones that you are not in charge of.
In the effort to change the
The circumstances, you always have the upper hand. Because remember, God gave us something we call will. So in this will, whatever you choose, sometimes even against God, God allows it.
Just said let him be.
Let
He has
him
chosen
be,
his
but
God.
there are always consequences.
Yes.
You see, the problem with this thing is that when you break the commandments of God, I think we had shared this before.
Yes.
You are not the one who breaks them. They
Yes.
are the ones that break you.
They break you.
You think you have broken them. But ultimately, over time, you realize that they never changed.
Yes.
But you changed.
It's like
The
you
day
try try and test gravity.
Yes.
Yes.
You go and see. You will realize after the fall,
Yes.
after you've lost your legs, that gravity still exists.
Yes.
And it still does the work it's supposed to
Very
do.
true.
But your legs are gone. You see, that's the difference.
Yes.
So make sure that you are able to separate that. Then number two, you want to take a full accountability
Full accountability of what?
of where you are, where you're stuck. You see, a lot of
You acknowledge,
Yes.
this is where I'm stuck, so that you can be able to, once you know what the problem is, you'll know that you'll get the solution.
not even from that perspective. To acknowledge that, to be where you are, you also contributed. you see, there are truths that we like to run away from. Yeah.
Yes. I played a role in me getting here.
I played a role, even if maybe not 100%, but one way or the other, I am part and parcel of where I am. You see, you played a role. Because unless you take accountability and responsibility of where you are stuck, you will always play the victim.
True.
And once you lock into the victim mindset, then what you do is that you blame everyone else except you.
Nobody knows the trouble I have been through.
You know?
Yes.
So you look at the whole world and see how the world has been unfair to you,
Yes.
but miss to see that you yourself,
You played a major
played
role.
the major role to allow the world to be unfair to
True.
you.
I learned something that really transformed my life.
Yes.
This guy was saying, you are the one who teaches people how to treat you.
100%.
Yes.
You define how
It
people
just
treat you.
blew my mind.
You know, I struggled with that statement for a while also.
Yes.
Actually, I did struggle with that statement.
Yes.
Because I kept wondering, if
How?
Fred amenitusi,
Eh.
how did I contribute?
Yes.
Oh, jamaa bwana amenitusi.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm not in control of
How
his
con-
mouth.
But I realized you did not set your boundaries right.
True.
And if you did, you didn't communicate them.
True.
And if you communicated them, you didn't show seriousness. That I will not allow you to insult me.
Yes.
I don't take that.
True.
You see? So you are part and parcel. Either directly, sometimes I like to use the word indirectly because we are also in denial.
True.
But directly or indirectly, you have contributed to be where you are. So I want you to, even if, Fred, it's not you who did everything.
Yes.
I want you to take full responsibility.
No, I'm responsible for getting us here.
Yes.
And I will be responsible for getting us.
Moving us out of here.
True.
The day you take that full square responsibility and let the weight of it fall on you, it will fall on you so heavy that you will want to drop it.
Yes.
But if you keep denying and pushing it away, then it disallows you the opportunity to feel the heaviness of it, or even generate the emotions to want to change it.
True.
All right?
Very
So take full square responsibility that I'm here. Niko na kanaitangwa kadudu and my plan was arranged.
Yes.
And I have contributed to be here.
Yes.
And I accept.
The dog ate my homework, food, the money.
Yes.
Yes.
And from today, I'm going to change the situation.
Yes.
I got this far. I got myself in a bad relationship. Yes, I hate that Jama, I hate that lady, was a narcissist, was a whatever I want to describe. But I allowed myself to play along.
True.
You know, I ignored all the red duvets,
Yes.
all the red flags, and everything red, you know, even the red walls.
I saw them, but I ignored them.
Yes. So I want to accept them now, that I was part of the mistake, you know. Accept it. I went to college. I took the wrong course. I didn't do my research. I let people who have never gone to university advise me. And I'm here now. I have got a certificate that doesn't work in the market. Let's face it. I made my choices. I've come this far. Let's now walk away. I took that debt. I went to the bank. I signed the papers
And
myself.
I went and partied.
I got the money. I went and had a good time, you know.
Yes.
And now I'm unable to pay. Let's face it. Accept it, you know.
Yes.
It's until the day you accept it that you're able to move on. Move from the victim mindset. Totally transfer yourself from the victim mindset. And the last thing you want to do is change how you think.
Yes. How you think about you or how you think about everything?
How you think about everything.
Okay.
If you want to be a billionaire,
Yes.
you cannot think like a millionaire
True.
and be a billionaire. It is not possible. This is how our mind works.
You know, at times I listen to these things and I ask myself, where was all this information? Excuse me.
Yes.
When we were younger.
It has always been there. I think and I believe it has always been there. I've read books from a father, Catholic father by the name St. Augustine. He's from the 13th century.
And he talks about
And those things he was talking about them.
Because I came into contact with some of this information and my life was completely transformed. So I asked myself, where were these things? How come I didn't know these things then? Because today I would be I know I've gone far and I'm
Yes.
still going far.
Yes.
But I would have been farther than
you
I
are
am
today now.
So if you're getting this information today,
Yes.
do something about it. Then many years to come, you'll look back and say, unlike Fred, me, I received this information when I was young, and look at what it
Look
has
at how
done.
far it has taken me. You see, these things, they are even in the Bible.
Yes.
Solomon
True.
wrote these things for us, you know. But I think it is the way our mind is set. You see, there's always that one day that changes your life, friend.
True.
That one day where you are ignited, where the fire gets started for you. And that day could be today.
True.
By the things that we are sharing.
Yeah.
You could feel like, oh, these guys are talking about something. And this could be the beginning of you now getting into a lifelong learning process where you get the books on mindset, get the books on moving forward, get the books on personal development. This conversation can be the ignition that you needed because it doesn't have all the information that you need.
True. You've read a lot of books on, mindset and that kind of stuff. And just like you've said, people should read. Which books do you recommend, including yours? Yes.
I have very many books I can recommend, but before I recommend mine,
Yes.
I'll recommend the scriptures.
Yes.
The scripture is literally a mindset book because it takes you from the darkness of the world to the light of the world. But it tells you that the only thing that will move you is the state of your mind. So everything that is written in the scripture is to inform you, to encourage you, to change your thinking, to direct you, so that you, as your mind travels ahead, your body follows along.
Very true.
All right? And that's the whole course of this thing. We are trying to transport your mind to the future that you want, that you so desire, so that the body now, we
Follows
can
after.
to remember, your body is like a trailer. Your mind is the
head of the
trailer.
lorry itself.
Yes. So we want the head to be moving. The body will come along. Don't worry about the body.
Yes.
And that's where we were talking about the books, reading, becoming a billionaire. You first of all get there mentally, then the body will come along.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. So the scriptures would be really good.
Yes.
When you want to do mindset, there's a nice little book by a Jama called James Allen. It's called As a Man Thinketh.
As I've
It's
come
actually
across
free
that.
even on YouTube. You
Really?
can go and get the audio and just listen to it over and over and over and over many times, okay? It's really something good. There's another book by Napoleon Hill. It talks about think and grow rich. When I read the book, I asked myself, what does this guy really try to say? That I can think myself and become rich? I had a struggle with that kind of analogy. But actually it's true that for you to become rich,
You gotta think.
into riches. And as you think there, your actions change, your
True.
habits change,
True. Very,
everything,
very
your
true.
finances, your account is the last one to arrive to riches, you see. Your account is the last thing that arrives to riches.
Yes.
But your mind is the first one that arrives to riches. Now, in between your
And-
mind and
and-
your account,
Yes.
there is your body,
Yes.
there is your discipline,
Yes.
there is your habits,
Yes.
there is your friends, there is your reading, there is a lot of things in between that keep on arriving
Yes.
at different times before the accounts clocks the billions or the millions that you want.
And from what you're saying, it's like the account, the mind will go
Yes.
and stay there.
Yes.
Then the account which now epitomizes
The reality of where
what-
the mind is.
Yes, the reality of where. So the mind is already there. So you have to act in the now as though you're where the mind is.
You're where the mind is.
Yes.
Because once the mind travels there, it inspires you to behave as you are there. Now, the behaviors that you are behaving create habits.
Yes.
The habits that you create a lifestyle.
Yes.
The lifestyle that you create dictate your destiny. You see, it is the mind, the action, the habit, the action, that is the action, the behavior, the habit, the lifestyle, then the destiny.
Habit in the sense that you have to do it
repeatedly. Yes, it becomes, you do it repeatedly, and as you do it repeatedly, now it becomes a lifestyle. The way you live, if you wake up early, if you dress well, if you save a certain amount, if you invest, it becomes the way you live. Now as you live that way, the outcomes of living this way gives you the fruits, and the fruits are your destiny.
So I've heard this said, maybe you can confirm, that if you do something repeatedly for around 21 days, it becomes a habit.
Yes.
And then if you continue, now it becomes part and parcel of you.
It becomes a lifestyle. Yes. So that is the whole secret of moving forward. The mind goes fast.
Yes. Don't let your body go fast.
No,
let your mind go fast.
The mind goes fast.
Yes.
It arrives. And then do everything to keep the mind there. Remember, even the scriptures says, keep your mind on the things above. It doesn't say, let your mind visit. Let your mind visit.
Keep it there.
Visit today and then come. No. Keep your mind on the things above. So there is consistently, Mr. Fred, try that your mind is in the Range Rover as often as possible, the way you desire it.
Yesterday I went to see one.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Let your mind stay there.
Yes.
Keep it there. Keep it there. Keep it there. I know it will try to run back because of circumstances and the feelings and all that. But if you need a motivation, get the motivation every morning.
Yes.
If you need to read a book every day. If you need to see someone who has it, see them regularly. But so that your mind is there. Once your mind stays there long enough, it will start provoking you to do things differently.
True.
Now that is, your actions start changing. Your actions start changing. Now as your actions start changing, they are dictating your behavior.
And outcomes.
Now the behavior will start dictating your habit. If you behave in a certain way today, tomorrow, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, hey, it becomes a habit. Even people start asking, hey Fred, kwani leo ukimbi? Because they've seen like you are behaving in a way that you usually run in the morning or in the evening. So after some time, now you have a habit. Now the habit is the one that produces outcomes.
The habit.
It's not the behavior.
Reputation.
Yes, so let us be very clear here. Ndio mtu asikwambie Fred, unajua nilisave 2 months na sikupata 1 million. It's not 2 months.
Yes.
It is the habit of saving. It is not going to the gym 1 week. It is the habit of going to the gym. You see, you cannot say Kipchoge won the Olympics by training one day very hard, or 1 year, It is the habit of training every day without stopping. So once you have that habit, it changes your lifestyle.
I listened to Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson was talking about the training he used to do.
Yes.
And he said, I train like he would train. He hates. And he was saying discipline is doing what you hate as though you love it.
As though you love it, with a lot of passion.
Yes, so he hated the training.
Yes.
But he knew for me to be champion, I got to go through this. So he changed the mindset to a point whereby he hated it, but he did it like he loved it.
You see, that's the whole concept you're talking about. The mind was of a champion.
Yes.
The body here was still over failure.
Let me see.
Knockout. But the mind stayed there so long that it forced the body to behave like a champion.
Yes.
You see? So if you keep your mind at the destination long enough, Fred, your body will respond. So
Respond
it's
and
not
you'll
an
get
accident.
there. Yes.
It's not an accident. There's no accident here. It is a conscious process. So we have to keep at it. And that's it, man. That's it. Wacha nimalize na verse moja. Isaiah 43, 18 to 19, it says, forget the former things. Forget them. Now, yesterday is gone, man.
Yes.
Just leave
Forget
it.
it.
Forget
Whatever
it.
happened, happened.
It is already gone.
Yes.
Do not dwell in the past. So for those of us who keep saying we are
Those
stuck,
are two state, and I know about the Bible. When God follows up, it's emphasis.
it's emphasis.
He says, forget the past.
Achana nayo.
Then he tells you, do not dwell in the past.
Hama uko. You know, hama sasa.
Yes.
Move on. And it says here, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs. Do you not perceive it? So God is actually telling you the chance is now open.
See it.
See it now. The opportunity has come. Now you got to abandon the past. You got to leave it. I want you to change your eyes. See that opportunity is still ahead. See that chance has been presented to you. Another chance.
Yes.
It might not be, because what wanasema God is the God of second chance. Kama ni 2 chances, mimi ningekuwa nishaondoka. Juu zangu chance 2 nilimaliza kitambo. Kitambo. What I can tell you is God is a God of many chances.
Yes.
Seriously, Fred, I've blown my 2. If we were to look at
hizo tulimaliza kitambo.
Hizo ziliisha.
In fact, zingine tulimaliza tu, umefanya alafu kaambia Mungu aki, I am sorry, I did that. And then not even 30 minutes.
The same time.
Do you remember what I told you before?
Now I'm not going to do it again, you know. Yeah. So God is God of many chances, and that is what this verse is saying. So don't be stuck there. Don't be stuck there.
Okay.
It is time now to wake up. I think there was a time that God told the Israelites, you've been here
on this mountain for too
now.
long.
Break camp.
Yes.
Break forth now. The opportunity is available.
True.
The land that you are pursuing is up ahead. The opportunity is now. Go for it. So
Very
my
true.
last words is, go for it now. Break the camp.
Go for it. Break the camp. Don't let your mindset keep you in the camp. Well, you're supposed, like Gabriel said, you're supposed to break off. He said something that was so pivotal. He said, there are people who will talk to you, trying to talk you out of it. But as long as you've heard from God and you can tell this is the right way from the scriptures, bold, do it. Just tick it so that you can achieve your objectives. Well, with that, we bring the curtains down on the show. Do have yourself a lovely morning. We look forward to, and Wednesdays are becoming my favorite mornings because this is what personal development is all about. and don't try to change the things out there. Change the things in here, and the things out here will change automatically. So the world tells us, change those things out there. Those things out there are as a result of the things in here. The moment this is changed, why is corruption so rampant in Kenya? It is in here.
In our system.
Yes, in our system. The moment we change our system, corruption will not even last a day. So change it. That's why I say Wednesdays are a great investment into my heart. So I look forward to every Wednesday. So if you've not watched the series by Gabriel, the one he's done here since Jan, what you need to do, just go to our social pages on Facebook and YouTube and watch them. And as you watch, you will see how it builds a straight line that helps you get to where you need to go. Well, with that, my time is fast spent. Do have yourself a lovely morning. God bless you.